What's up, YouTube? This is my first YouTube video on the channel, so thank you for watching. First of all, I absolutely had to bring you this fire Warlock content because Strand Warlock is crazy strong right now. Do not believe the haters, I'm telling you. I was down on Strand at first, but since beating the legendary campaign and unlocking all the fragments, it just might be my favorite Warlock class of all time. Yeah, even better than the Voidlock class and the Starfire Protocol DPS machine. So I'm going to go over a few different variations of weaponry, subclass fragments, and armor mods, so let's jump right in. So first things first, looking at the Strand subclass itself, Needle Storm might be the best DPS super I can remember on the Warlock. The burst DPS is just insane, and the recharge time really feels great with the orbs of light that we're generating through our armor mods, but we'll get there in a second. You really want to make sure you have Healing Rift here for survivability. Your choice on the jump. I personally prefer Burst Glide. Arcane Needle comes standard on the subclass, but it's really a great melee option. I have no complaints. It comes with up to 3 charges, and then if you do kill an enemy with it or hit an enemy with it, it will unravel them. So really great melee. I use it a lot to finish enemies and generate orbs of power through our build. And then your grenade options are really excellent for the build. You have the Threadling grenade, which is a woven projectile that reweaves itself into Threadlings while in fight. So if you just launch this grenade, it will spawn 3 Threadlings that will go seek enemies out and cause pretty good damage. You have your basic melee grapple, which just weaves a grappling hook and allows you to pull yourself forward to a target. If you grapple to a tangle, it'll immediately recharge your grenade energy, but if you grapple to an enemy, you have a chance to grapple melee that enemy, which does pretty good damage, and then unravels targets as well. But my personal favorite grenade on the class is the Shackle grenade. The Shackle grenade is a piece of weighted strand matter that you throw that just detonates on impact and then immediately suspends any targets that were affected by that radius. And not only are they suspended, so they're taken out of the fight for 5 to 10 seconds, but while they're suspended, you create additional suspending projectiles that just cause damage to anyone in that radius as well. Absolutely crazy. Moving on to your aspects here, you have Weaver's Call. Weaver's Call states that you can cast your Rift to weave 3 Threadlings and deploy any Threadlings that you have perched. And Mind Spun Invocation, which is my favorite aspect here. This allows you to consume your grenade for additional effects. Or when you do your grapple melee, you can spawn Threadlings from your melee there. If you consume your Threadling grenade, you will immediately generate 5 perched Threadlings that will just sit on your Guardian until you deploy them. And then if you consume your Shackle grenade, you can activate Weaver's Trance, which will just make your final blows while Weaver's Trance is active create that suspending detonation. So you have a chance to, for I believe 25 seconds, suspend enemies repeatedly just through the Weaver's Trance consumption of your Shackle grenade. Absolutely crazy. Can't wait to show you that in gameplay here. But as we continue on through our fragments, there are so many different options you can do here. I really think they nailed the fragments on this class, but here's what I'm currently running. Thread of Finality, so finish your final blows, create Threadlings. Always good to have those Threadlings up and running around. You have Thread of Warding, so picking up an orb of power grants Woven Mail. And Woven Mail states that your body is encased in a protective mesh of tightly woven strand matter, greatly reducing any incoming non-precision damage. So makes you tanky, helps with survivability, all things that we love in this game. You have Thread of Evolution, so Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. Cannot recommend this fragment enough. It really makes your Threadlings hit hard, and they already hit hard base damage, so really recommend that fragment there. And then Thread of Generation, probably the best fragment on the Strand subclass, states that dealing damage generates grenade energy. So that's just flat damage that you're dealing helps generate grenade energy. And what I've noticed is that any sort of AoE or damage that is going to affect a group of enemies only speeds up that grenade energy generation there. So can't wait to show you that as well. That's what I'm currently running, but there are so many different options, so really recommend you jump in there and play around. So when it comes to armor mods in Lightfall, you're gonna really find that they overhaul the entire process from top to bottom, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I really feel like the system is growing on me. But I really encourage you, before you even dig in here, to just go review all of the possible mod combinations and what they do. They're primarily just based on you gaining what's called armor charge and then consuming those armor charges for various buffs. And so we'll kind of get into what that looks like. Right now on my helmet, I am rocking the Void and Strand Dual Siphon mod, which will allow rapid weapon final blows with Void or Strand weapons to create orbs of power. Orbs of power are going to be key in gaining armor charge and things of that nature as well. Powerful Friends is a mod that only costs 1 energy, and I'm going to recommend everyone put it on because whenever you collect an orb of power personally, it will cause any nearby allies to increase their current armor charge by 1 automatically. So good bang for your buck for your entire fire team right there. And then Font of Wisdom. So anytime I collect an orb of power, it causes me to gain 1 armor charge. And as an added benefit of this process, I also gain a bonus to intellect whenever I have any armor charge. So just gonna help my Strand Super come back faster there. When you're looking at your gauntlets, you're gonna see that this is where you're going to really dive into your melee and grenade orb generation. So I personally have one heavy-handed, which will allow my powered melee final blows to create orbs of power, and then the same sort of mod for my grenade. So essentially just your grenade final blows creating orbs of power. I have 2 copies of this mod to help increase the potency there, because this build is truly grenade centric. You're going to be spamming the heck out of those grenades, so why not get your bang for your buck there. On my chest, I have the emergency reinforcement mod. So whenever my shields become broken, I gain temporary damage reduction. This is going to consume 3 or more stacks of armor charge, which is just going to grant me a longer duration to the damage reduction. But very important to note that this is one of those mods that is going to consume the armor charge that you build up. I also have charged up on, which will increase the maximum number of stacks that I can carry by 1. So just more benefits in terms of having more armor charge, so that way you can consume more and use more from a buff perspective. And then harmonic resistance to just help with general survivability there. On my boots, I have on Stacks, which is one of the best mods this season. Picking up 1 orb of power instead of granting me just 1 armor charge will now grant me 2 stacks of armor charge. So great bang for your buck there. And then personally I have on Void Weapon Surge, which will allow any void weapons that I have to gain bonus damage whenever I have any stacks of armor charge at all. So really good option to help get some damage boosts on your weapons there. And then I have on Absolution, but you can really play around with any mod here. Absolution is just going to help with ability cooldowns whenever I pick up an orb of power, and trust me, there's going to be a ton of orbs of power on the field. And on my class item here, my bond, I have on Font of Restoration. So collecting that orb of power, whenever I have those armor charges as a result of the orb of power, I'm going to get a bonus to recovery. Just helps with general survivability on the Warlock. Recovery is always a good thing there. And then time dilation. So any armor charge that I get will decay, but also have a longer duration. So I believe it's 15 seconds on the decay there. So as you're accruing those armor charges, they won't just go away immediately. You have 15 seconds to utilize each individual charge, which has pretty good uptime when you're talking about what we're going to be doing from a grenade perspective here. So that's the armor charge system there. Let's jump right into the weapons. So I'm currently rocking the 600 RPM auto rifle Perpetualis. You know, when Lightfall first dropped, I was really excited to get my hands on some Strand weapons, and this one immediately caught my eye, and I got a great roll on it off the rip. So I've been really enjoying using this in PvE situations here. Currently rocking full bore accurized rounds, Envious Assassin, which is a new perk. Rapidly defeating targets with other weapons before drawing this one transfers ammo to the magazine from the reserves. This effect can overflow the magazine based on the number of targets defeated. I know it sounds good, but wait till you actually see it in practice. I think I've gotten this bad boy up to 120 rounds in the mag. Absolutely crazy. And then Golden Tricorn, which is a fan favorite, generally just gets you grant bonus damage through final blows with this weapon. So while this buff is active, grenade or melee kills of the same damage type will also increase its damage and duration. So you can pump out some great damage just from using your abilities with the Golden Tricorn trait here. And then Noble Deeds, which is a new origin trait this expansion. This weapon gains charges after assisting allies with revives, healing, overshields, or subclass buffs. Defeating targets consumes charges. While charged, this weapon gains bonus handling and reload speed, or if you're using a sword, it increased charge rate. So really good origin trait there, just getting you like passive bonuses for doing things that you're already going to be doing throughout the course of whatever your activity or your challenge right now. So we'll come back to this auto rifle, but I really want you to keep an eye on it. Perpetualis, it probably won't get a lot of shine, but if you're using a Strand subclass, there's a lot of synergies that can come across with this. Old Faithful here for me, Unforgiven from the Duality Dungeon. The keys here are Void and then Demolitionist, Adrenaline Junkie. Those combinations are going to come back once we're using our grenade. And heavy weapon, there's so many good heavy options. You have Deterministic Chaos, the new LMG from the expansion, the Winter Bite, Old Faithful Cataclysmic. But I'm having so much fun right now using my crafted retrofit escapade from last season. Target lock 4 times the charm with the buffs that LMG's got in terms of not only damage but ammo reserves. Just having so much fun obliterating everything on the field and never running out of ammo with this gun. So that's currently what I'm using, but let's actually jump into some gameplay here so I can kind of show you exactly what this build could do. So as you can see, the build is just so much fun in PvE content. That footage was from the new Defiant Battleground activity, and thanks to the difficulty changes that Bungie has made, it's no cakewalk, especially when your randoms don't know what they're doing. I did want to point out that Nezarec Sin is truly a key to this build, as the helmet allows void kills to increase ability regen. This just ties back in with the Unforgiven SMG, and honestly, unintended, but Retrofit Escapade really works well there too. Just added for some great synergy from your exotic to your weapons there. I'm thinking about taking this build into the day one raid to really put it to the test. Thanks again for watching. Going forward, I'll be pumping out all kinds of content on all 3 character classes, so stay tuned as the channel continues to grow. Peace.